Aye, merry it is, but to my mind, though I am native here, and to the manner born it is a custom, more honored in the breach than the observance. This heavy-headed revel, east and west, makes us traduced and taxed of other nations. They cleap us drunkards, with the swinish phrase, soil our addition, and indeed it takes, from our achievements, though performed at height, the pith and marrow of our attribute. So oft it chances, in particular men, that for some vicious mole of nature in them, as in their birth, wherein they are not guilty, since nature cannot choose his origin, by the overgrowth of some complexion, oft breaking down the pales and forts of reason, or by some habit that too much overleavens, the form of plausive manners, that these men, carrying, I say, the stamp of one defect, being nature's livery or fortune's star, their virtues else, be they as pure as grace, as infinite as man may undergo, shall in general censure take corruption. From that particular fault, the dram of evil doth all the noble substance of a doubt to his own scandal. This is a quotation from Act 1, Scene 4, relatively close to the beginning of the play. In this excerpt, Hamlet uses unrhymed iambic pentameter in speaking to a friend and a soldier. An iamb is an unaccented syllable followed by an accented one. Penta means 5, and meter refers to a regular rhythmic pattern. So iambic pentameter is a kind of rhythmic pattern that consists of 5 iambs per line, or in other words, 10 syllables per line. It's nighttime in the scene, and Hamlet is waiting with Horatio and Marcellus for the ghost of Hamlet Sr. to appear. This occurs before Hamlet pretends to go crazy and claims he's determined to avenge his father's death. The castle loudly sounds trumpets and guns, and Hamlet starts to express his upset with the new King Claudius, who is getting incredibly drunk, which was and still is a Danish custom. Hamlet then goes on to say how this tradition makes the Danish royal family look bad, and how all their accomplishments can be diminished and overlooked because of this one cultural flaw. This excerpt is very interesting because it's another example of Hamlet's insightful and contemplative nature. In the more recent 2009 film of Hamlet, the director decides to cut the scene down.
The air bites shrewdly. It is very cold.
It is a nipping and an eager air.
What hour now?
I think it lacks of 12.
No, it is struck.
Indeed? I heard it not. Then it draws near the season wherein the spirit held his wont to walk. What does this mean, my lord?
The king doth wake tonight and takes his rouse. Keeps wassail and the swaggering upspring reels. And as he drains his draughts of Rhenish down, the kettle drum and trumpet thus bray out, a triumph of his pledge.
To the custom.
Aye, earliest. To my mind, though I am native here, and to the manner born, it is a custom more honoured in the breach than the observance.
Look, my lord, it comes!
Angels and ministers are great offenders.
Hamlet is trying to express his difference of opinion in the practices of the Danes. He recognizes that the drunkenness or tendency for partying detracts from the overall respectability of a noble man. He believes that the reputation of a man can easily be altered or lessened because of a common practice. He compares this to a child having some sort of undesirable physical trait, something one does not consciously control, which comes to overpower any positive, intrinsic traits which should merit praise. This metaphor is used to explain the impact the awareness of a dram of evil can have on a man. It points out how troubling an imperfection which reminds us of greater loss of control, as drunkenness or physical fault can be. This extract also relates to the fragility of honor that is a recurring theme in this book, being something that only exists in relation to another's opinion. This extract in many ways foreshadows the downfall of the Danish Empire and shows that in Hamlet's world,